Hi, I'm Billy Robinson, and I'll be covering flooding simulation using Tyflow. So to start off, we've already got our topography that we want to use. So our first step will be selecting Tyflow, and we're going to be dragging that out. After this, in the helpers tool, we'll go to Tyflow, and then we want to do Ty icon. From this, we're going to do hotkey T to give you the top view, and we're going to select a border for the particles on the landscape. So after this, we can do hotkeys P, and once you've done that, you can press W or go up to here to do the select and move tool, and on the Y axis, drag it all the way up to give it space because the particles will fall between these two. So our next step will be opening Tyflow. So select Tyflow, go to your modifiers tab and open the editor. I'll shrink this down so that you guys can see. So our first step will be pressing tab to search, and we will select birth. So to start off, let's just make this 600 by 2000. So, and then if you come to the display, you can change the different particles. So maybe we'll make it large so that you guys can see. Our next step will be to go to position icon. And for this, we want to pick where our particles will fall from. So from the border that we created, from the tie icon, we'll select that. And right here already you can see particles popping up. You can also change the color by pressing this circle from the display setting, and we can make that whatever color we'd like. Let's make that a dark blue. And you can also see if it's working that you can press play animation, which you can see that it'll come up, but the only problem that there's no fall, which we'll get to in a minute. So our next step will be doing tab, and we'll go shape. So shape will determine your particles forms, and you can choose from 2D shapes to 3D shapes, and you can set a referral node. So this is pretty much you'd assign an object that you like for the particles. For this instinct, we could keep it into 3D, and we can make them. Let's go to, what do they have? We can make it anything. Let's go to sphere, and let's go like mid. So once you've finished this, we can go to another tab, and we'll go to force. So force is pretty much the gravity. So is the fall and rise of the particles. And so if you go down and see where it says built-in forces, built-in gravity, we're going to just set this at -1. And if you press play, you'll begin to see the particles falling. After this, we can do tab and rotation. So rotation is pretty much the traveling distance, so it's used to control the orientation of the particles. So we could go to orientation, random 3D. For this, we could probably do align to travel direction. And then after this, we will do tab, and we can also do mapping particles or mapping. So we'll do mapping from customer flow, and we can leave the rest. Also, we'll do tab collision. Sorry if you can hear the background. So in collision, we can pick. So this is pretty much for the particles to collide with the landscape that we have. So we'll pick that. So if you press play now, it will begin to hit the landscape that we have. And to see where the water falls and for the particles to continuously run and build up, we can come down to the time configuration, select that, and we can change that. So go to length, and we could probably set that at 500 and press OK. So this will allow for more of a continuous run of the particles. So, and now we could press play, and you're going to see the particles build up in different areas. Another thing to mention in collision, I believe, the particles hitting the landscape are bouncing up. So that's not going to happen. So we'll set that to 0, enter. And now we can start over, and now it should formally see the sliding down and the build up of particles. So this is an example of using Tyflow of a flood simulation.